Aye, shepherd's pie, greetings from the Philippines. Guess where I am? Wasn't very hard, was it? I'm in a rum bar with a new friend. Now, this chap has a very unusual name. What's your name, mate?
Yorick.
No, you don't make many Yoricks for the pound, do you?
No, you don't. That's for sure.
So, Yorick's been kind enough to sit down and have a little chat with us. And Yorick is the partner of the wonderful Chanel, who you may or may not know, because I may have put the video up before. But if I haven't, and this is the first, look forward to the next one, because another good one. Right, so, enough to do. Tell me about yourself, Yorick. Where are you from?
I'm from a place in India. It's on the coast. It's called Goa. So Goa is actually a Portuguese colony. So I think they have their own language there. It's called Konkani.
I did not know you were from Goa.
Yeah. Oh, you've been?
No, I thought you met when last few nights we've been talking. I thought you were from Australia.
Oh, that's why I always say Portuguese Indian, because I moved to Australia when I was 5.
Okay.
Yeah. And pretty much went from there. Like, I mean, it's like very much Australian culture, but Portuguese Indian heritage.
Wow. I've never been to Goa, but I've heard some very good things about it. Very good things about it.
It's similar to here. It's very much like just like a coastal, like fishing town, and yeah, it's really nice. It's beautiful to go for a holiday. You should go.
Yeah. But take a holiday from what?
Yeah, fair. You're already on holiday.
I will have to do that one day. Oh wow! So you moved over with your parents?
I did, yes, with my family. So my immediate family.
Yeah.
I have no other family in Australia.
What prompted the move?
Why did they move?
Yeah, work or?
So they were actually working in Dubai, and that's where I was born. So I lived there till I was 5, and then they moved because in Dubai you can't actually become a citizen or own property or anything like that unless you have ancestral heritage there.
So you being born there doesn't make you?
No,
not really.
Doesn't make me a citizen. Nothing like that. No.
No claim to it at all.
No, you have to have like a real blood tie,
Oh wow.
To the land, yeah. I think that's how I think Dubai is mainly like a like a sightseeing place. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's I've not been. Doesn't appeal to me.
Oh, it doesn't appeal to me either. Like I think they just. I don't know. It's just too flashy, and I don't know. This is island living. This is amazing. This is exactly what I like to see. When I'm on holiday.
Yeah. But a lot of people go, I used to love going to Las Vegas. Love Las Vegas. And when I was in the Air Force, I used to go to Bahrain a lot, because Bahrain used to be a place you could drink before Dubai took off. But not for me. So you've got dual nationality presumably now then? I mean, you've got an Australian passport?
I do. So back when I moved to Australia, I think it was 2004, it was actually fairly easy to get your citizenship and passport. I believe we were there for 2 or 3 years, and then my parents had to do we all had to do an English speaking test, and like some various other tests, and it was handed to us.
Even as a kid?
Yeah. Because Perth, where me and Chanel are from, it's actually fairly quiet and remote. Like, so back then, 2004, I don't know, there was just no one there. So they were actually trying to encourage people to come over. Whereas now, it's completely different. It takes 8 to 10 years to get your citizenship.
Wow.
It's a nightmare, and it costs a fair bit, 10,000-12,000 Australian dollars.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, the fact that people's pay hasn't kept up with how the economy is, it's much more of a struggle these days. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, to get those funds.
Okay. Okay. I thought you meant when you lived there, but to actually get in, right? I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I see what you mean, yeah.
I mean, I work with being a chef, I work with people from all over the world, and they all tell me about the struggle, So a lot of them come there on a tourist visa, make their money in the mines where I work, and continue on.
Right, wow.
Yeah.
So you're working in the mines with Chanel. Well, not with Chanel, you met, because you were saying you met in the mines. You're working in a different mine now, and you're a chef. So what kind of food do they have then? Because it sounds like they're quite spoilt compared to miners in other countries in your place.
They really are. It's always a buffet feed every night, and there's also some a la carte options. But we try and mix it up, so there's different cultures every day, and there's an extensive menu. So it honestly just depends on how much you're willing to put in to your job, But it also depends on the food budget. Yeah. I was working for a contractor before, which is who Chanel is working for currently, and the budget is so much lower. I'd say with the contractor, it's about maybe $10 per head per day.
Right.
And with working directly for the company, it's $29, $30.
Right.
So we can put a lot more love into the food because we have that many more options to work with.
Yeah. And you enjoy it?
I do. Well, I enjoy chefing. My inside chefing is a little bit disheartening because you don't really get to focus on what you want to do. There's a bit less attention to the food and more attention to it's more mass, over like the methods that I put into it. I mean, it's still chefing though, so at least I still get to do what I love, but I get to earn a little bit more.
Yeah, but you're laughing because Chanel was talking about how you two were thinking of maybe moving over here.
Oh yeah.
And I was saying you could do it online, but you could open a restaurant. Mm-hmm. I mean, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, be easy for you.
It's really interesting. We were talking to the person that owns the place we're staying, and he said that they need more restaurants.
Where
here.
are you staying?
We were just staying at, it's called AA Jungle Guest House.
Okay.
It's just near the coast, like literally maybe 3 minutes away from here.
What, matey?
No, in San Juan. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
San Juan, yeah.
I'm not familiar with that one.
You should go. There's a Korean barbecue restaurant at the front, and it's awesome to have it here, But yeah, he was telling me that
A Korean
barbecue.
Is it near the Angel Wish?
Yeah, it's right next to
Yeah,
Angel
that's
Wish.
matey.
Matey.
Yeah, you've got
okay.
different barangays.
I
So
see.
that's right. You're matey.
Barangays are similar to suburbs then, is that?
Yeah, we're in Alawa now. When you've got that swimming pool, in the centre.
Yeah.
That's San Juan. Once you go past Alawa, you've got Paddington.
I
You
see.
go matey, and I'm into Bud. They're just different parts of things.
So they're fairly small though. Like, I mean, each...
They are here. Some of them, like Tabud's, quite big, but there's not much down there. It's like spread out. But San Juan itself is actually quite small. It's only like a couple of 100 metres.
Wow.
It's I mean, it's all class San Juan. It's just different barangays of.
I see.
I only know this because when you order stuff on Lazada, they always want to know what barangay you're in.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you could do that, mate. You could do that. This place is. Everyone I know who's got a business here, it said, in about 5 years' time, it will be oversaturated, and then it'll be hard to make a living. But anyone who gets in the next 5 years, will be laughing. We've seen how many lots there are.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's worth looking into because I don't know. In Australia, it's saturated. It's just oversaturated. You have so many options, and I think these days with the economy the way that it is, it's like, I mean, the first thing that people stop doing is eating out. You know what I mean? So it's actually heartbreaking to see a lot of restaurants with just no customers night after night after night. Here it's very different. I mean, when the guy recommended it to me, like that I open a restaurant here, I was actually like thinking about it. It's like that's a great idea because there aren't that many different cultures here. And
well, I'm gonna say this now, and I'm not saying it because you're Indian.
It's okay.
But there is no Indian restaurant here. I was saying that.
Yeah, you're right.
I was saying that about 3 days ago. I was talking to a friend of mine. And I was saying, I'm thinking of maybe opening a business here at some stage. And I was thinking an Indian restaurant. And he was like, well, can Filipinos cook? I said, I've got friends from India, in Leicester. They come over for 2 months, teach them how to cook. You know what I mean? But there is no Indian. I don't think there's an Indian restaurant in the whole of City, mate.
I doubt it. I haven't seen anything.
There's 3 in Dumaguete. They're not very good.
Well, it's actually really interesting because Indian cuisine is fairly spread out throughout the world, so I'm surprised that it hasn't hit here. I guess it's because they're fairly different cultures. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you why it is. I mean, you won't believe this. I'll start asking questions in a minute because this is big me talking a bit too much. But Hazel, who owns the Rum Bar, you know Hazel and Giselle, the owners here.
I do.
They opened the Rum Bar in COVID, and the reason they opened it was because there was only one other bar in San Juan, and that was 3 years ago. Everything you've seen now has evolved in the last, apart from Coconut Grove.
Yeah.
And the Cat Resorts, they've all come in the last 3 years. That's why there is no Indian restaurant. It's nothing to do with culture or anything. It's to do with the fact that no one's opened one yet.
That's amazing.
It's gone from 3 bars to I think it's 63 now. It's just taken off. That's what I'm saying. So it's nothing, no sinister. They don't like the food or whatever. No one's done it, mate. So it could be an opportunity.
That's really interesting. Like, I mean, I think I'd definitely look into it. Right now, I have my house in Australia. 6 months ago, I bought a house, and my main focus is just to pay off my mortgage. So my job really helps with that because I earn a little bit extra. So I just, when I'm home, like pay off the mortgage, like work on the house, it's nice, and I think that's my plan for the next 5 years, I think, or at least pay off enough that I can sell it and make, you know, like a bit of a profit, because I think I just see it as an investment. This is my first home, you know, like I would love to settle down somewhere else in the world, but as far as investments go, property is fairly safe, you know, so
Rent it out and get yourself over it, and then you've got income coming from the rent.
have like an Airbnb over there. That's a great idea.
So you've been here 2 weeks?
Yes, 2 weeks.
Okay. Where else have you been in? I mean, is this your favourite place now? Because Chanel said it well, I'm kind of assuming it is for you. Like, but
100%. I think, especially for people in our age group, it's just like a little haven. I guess people of every age group.
Well, there you go. This is good, because I didn't want to ask Chanel how old she is, because that's rude, but I can ask you how old are you? You say your age group. What's your age group?
I'm 26.
27
this year, yeah.
You look a young 26.
I do think that it, like people in their 20s and 30s come here and they love it, because it's like an island retreat, you know, like it's I don't know, it's just amazing. We've made so many friends while we've been here, and they're all very wholesome people. So actually, the first group of friends that we met was when we were touring through a waterfall. It's called Lugnason Falls, and we just ended up just joining this group, and they had a tour guide, and they were like climbing up through the falls, and we all ended up going for lunch after, and it was so wholesome. And I think we were supposed to go to Palawan after this, a different island, but from what we hear, this is just so much better. So we got really drunk, and we missed our ferry.
Oh, I can't believe that.
But we weren't that upset. We kind of just sat out the front of our Airbnb. We were just like, okay, you know, like let's figure out things from here, and we just decided to stay. It's just sorting out the logistics, you know, for actually getting back home, but it wasn't that hard, you know. This place is definitely worth it. I think just the fact that it's a small island, it takes just over an hour to get from one end to the other. It's amazing, you know, like, and it's all by moped. I just say the only thing that really I don't love about this island is just riding around all the time, because there are no traffic rules.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
I know exactly what you mean.
It's a bit tense, especially I think riding tandem. So I'm gonna teach Chanel how to use a moped, but for this trip, because she wasn't comfortable,
teach me as well, will
you? Yeah, of course. I'll give you a class.
I've got to stop crashing.
Oh man, it does peak me out a fair bit, because I don't know, it just people coming at you from all different directions, and you know, I've got precious cargo in the back, so got to be careful, you know. It's that's the only thing.
You smooth talker.
That's the only thing that really I'm a little bit nervous about here, but everything else, I have needed this for so long. Last time I went overseas was at the start of COVID, which is roughly 3-4 years ago now.
Yeah, about that.
I was in Singapore, and ever since then, I became a chef so I could travel. And just as I was about to finish my chef school, COVID hit. So it just kind of changed lanes and decided to save up for a house. And I just kind of put my head down and did that. But now coming back out here, it really just reinvigorates your love for meeting different people, getting and like seeing different locations. Like we, at both Panglao and here, we've actually found a good guide that has taken us around the island. And it's been amazing, because there are so many just hidden gems that I don't think many people have been there. And I talk to people and I'm like, have you been here? Have you been here? You know, you must go. And they haven't been, which is like, I don't know, it's mind-blowing for me, because it's such a nice island to just explore.
Well, I'm one of those people. Chanel was telling us about the caves. I've not been to the caves.
Oh, it was amazing. And the other thing is the history behind them. So did you know that those caves, the Japanese actually used them as a secret way to get to the sea back when they, you know, had control over the island? It's actually really, I'm not a huge fan of history, but I mean, when I come here, places that have been colonized many times over, they have a lot of different stages where, you know, this happened, that happened, and it's really interesting for me just finding out about it.
Yeah, I agree entirely. So you're saying that the Philippines is your favourite place now?
Yes, most
But
definitely.
was it your favourite place before you came to Sigil? I mean, did you fall in love with it when you were in Bohol, or when you first arrived, or was it gradually, or was it when you came here?
I did love it in Bohol. Like it was nice, but I think it was more busy and developed. Like I tried. So the one day that I actually tried taking the moped into the city, it was intense. It was just packed, and there's no traffic rules over there either. So it was just, I was so nervous, and I actually ended up stopping early so that we could take a tuk-tuk further out to where we wanted to go. But apart from that, we had a good guide there as well, and he took us to a lot of cool spots. I definitely didn't love it as much before I came to Sikihor though. Sikihor has been just an absolutely life-changing experience for me. Like just getting to see how happy the locals are here is just so heartwarming, because I feel like from my perspective at the moment, the world is pretty broken up right now. You know, everyone has their own views and viewpoints and tries to push it onto other people, and everyone is in their own bubble, you know. Yeah. But here it's completely different. Everyone kind of works together, and they're just happy with what they have here, and that's why I would love to live here in the end, because it's nice just being able to be friendly and, you know, like be open and be funny, you know, like make funny faces, do funny dances, and people just laugh and have a really good time, you know.
Yeah.
I think in from my perspective, especially in Western countries, that just doesn't happen. It's just the way that the world is developed, you know, like we're all just very introverted these days. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like 100%.
We do all of our sightseeing on our phones, you know.
What did you think of the people in Bohol?
In Bohol, I think they were still very friendly. Yeah. Like I did get that aspect, but I think it was also in the city especially. It's just a little bit like a bit sadder. You know what I mean? Like I mean the wage gap is a little bit bigger there, and I've been to India, and that's the extreme. That is just an absolute shock to the system. But Bohol was a little bit more like India.
Really?
You know what I mean? Yeah. I think in time, if Bohol gets oversaturated, it'll end up like Mumbai, which is absolutely insane. The level of pollution over there, the amount of people. It's it's good to go there just to be grateful for what you have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, obviously, if you grow up in a certain country and that's all that you know, you don't have a problem with it, which is great. But I think it's quite saddening sometimes. You know what I mean? To see how people are, like, I guess, just disrespected by the people with all the money.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely like a monopoly, especially in third world countries.
Well, that is. I mean, I've not been to Bohol, but when I first came to the Philippines, I spent my first month in Dumaguete, and the people are nothing like they are here. I mean, they're nice, but they're not as friendly here. But the poverty in Dumaguete is like the street people there.
It's
like,
super saddening.
It's terror. It breaks you up. It really is heartbreaking.
Because I guess, especially in like Eastern countries, from the start, because like it wasn't as developed. It didn't have like these rules in place. People amassed their wealth and built this huge, you know, like gap, like this finance gap between, you know, the rich and the poor. It's crazy. Like, I mean, you see the stats, and it's like, you know, 1% of the country owns all the money. And it's like, how does that work? How did that even happen in the first place? You know, like how is there such a divide? I don't know. It really makes me sad, especially because I am from India. Like, you feel bad. You know what I mean? Like, I feel you feel a little bit guilty, because it's like my parents were good to me. You know, they brought me to a better place, and they actually cared about me and my future. You know what I mean?
Well, you'll know a lot more about India than I do, because obviously your family are from India, but it's an amazing thing about India and the caste system. I don't really understand it, but when I lived in Leicester before I moved to the Philippines, Leicester's, I think it's 57% of Indian origin.
Wow.
So a lot of Indian friends. Most of my friends were second generation or first generation. So their parents were like from India. I got to know some of them very well. And they'd go back to India, and I've been there a couple of times, and I'd talk to like Ramesh, and Dad, I want to make good friends. I'm like, the poverty and he's like, I said, but it makes you feel bad. Why? And I said, we just want to help them. You can't help them all. You know, it was strange, because he's a really nice guy and all that kind of thing, but they just seemed to have a completely different view of, you know, there was no problem with people, you know,
definitely
starving on the streets, and you think, I can't get that, because these are really nice people who'll feed you when you go around the house and that kind of thing, you know, salt of the earth, but for some reason they just look at that completely differently to how you or I do.
It is a bit it is a bit confusing, you know, when you see how like kind of numb they are. But I think it's just when you're from somewhere, you know what I mean? Like you have certain ways that you deal with things. And like for example, in India, when I was young, and we used to go there because I'm second generation. Well, sorry, I'm second generation Australian. That's correct. So you'd have people, you know, like you'd be on like a packed highway, and there are just so many people that would come and knock on your window, you know, like asking for some money. And my parents, they would just be like, just don't make eye contact, you know, just don't make eye contact. Like they have sympathy for these people, but it's just the way that you're raised, I guess. Like their parents were very much like just numb to it, you know, like we have our lives, this is how it works. It's just different cultures. Like, I think that's all it comes down to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. And I suppose if you or I had grown up there, we'd have the same attitude. It's like it's,
exactly.
Who's to say who's right? Who's to say who's wrong?
Well,
but it is heartbreaking when you see it over there.
It is like a very every man for himself mentality. Do you know what I mean? So everyone is just doing their own thing. When a country is that populated as well, it's really hard. Like my dad and mum always tell me, you know, like the education system over there is tough because everyone is fighting for the same job. That's why everyone migrates. If you have the opportunity, you migrate because there are more opportunities in another country.
Yeah.
Like it's just like how you're talking to me about the restaurant industry here. I might come here because, you know, in my career, I could go that much further here. It is how it is, you know?
Yeah, it's unusual because I mean, it's like, this is supposed to be a Christian country. Now, I lived in Thailand for 7 years before I came here, as I've said many times on the channel. There are no homeless people in Thailand because at night time, the temples open up and they go and sleep in the temples and they feed them. They'll give them food and they'll give them food in the morning and then they'll go back to whatever they're doing. And the only people you will ever see on the street are either professional beggars from Cambodia, and you'll hardly see any. I mean, you might see 2 in a day in Bangkok.
Yeah.
Or they are alcoholics or drug addicts who've been kicked out of the temple.
Right.
But they don't get kicked out for one night, they go back the next day. And the point is, that's just the way it works over there. It's a Buddhist thing.
That's
When you come to a country like this, which is a devoutly Catholic Christian country, and you see the homeless people, you think, why aren't the churches opening up at night?
Yeah.
And letting them go and sleep in there? And why aren't there people, you know what I mean? Doesn't seem to be anything going on. And I'm an atheist, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, doesn't quite register, does it? You know, going to church every day and they're not doing anything to help the people who are on the streets. It's.
I agree.
It's a strange thing.
I really, really agree because my family. So because of the Portuguese colonization, my family is actually Catholic,
Okay.
and you know, I practiced when I was younger, but I think eventually I was just like, no, I'd rather just be a Christian because I think religion is what's really messed up Catholicism. Like, Catholicism, like how it's developed, it's just become so corrupt. You know, it might not be like that everywhere. This is just from what I see, and this is just my opinion.
Careful what you're saying now, because you could end up spending 2 hours in confession this week instead.
I don't know. It really, it's a weird subject with me because I mean my family practices and they are beautiful people, but just the concept doesn't resonate with me. I'd rather just take away. I think that there are some really good values behind Christianity, and I think that if you take away, you know, like those good values, you actually develop yourself to be a good person. For me, it's pretty simple to me. It's like, first, just acknowledge that there is something greater going on in life. You know what I mean? Like you're actually on a path, and the things that you do happen for a reason. And I can say with like 100% that things have gone in a certain direction for me. I've made certain decisions and it feels like this is just the path that I'm on. You know what I mean? Like these things, they're meant to happen. And I think like the second thing that I really take away from Christianity is just treating other people the way that you want to be treated. Just be kind to others. And it's just really paid off for me. Like I can't stress how much being nice to everyone has just helped me just get along in life, you know, make new friends. It's so awesome, especially in a place like here where you're nice to people and they love it. They're so nice to you. They're just like, you get it back tenfold. You know what I mean? sometimes I think in Australia, it's tough for me because you're nice to people and you don't really get it back, and then you kind of feel like, oh, why am I even doing this? But he has just like really warmed my heart because I don't know, it kind of restores your faith in humanity a little bit. Like,
it does.
Yeah.
Right, and it's nice you feel that way.
well, it's not to say that I don't love Australia. Australia is my home. It is beautiful. I love it. I love my friends. I love growing up there. It's just, I guess, different cultures. Pardon me. Different cultures, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree with everything you said, mate. Everything you said. So if you had to pick a highlight of this trip, what was the highlight? What was the best thing that you've done?
I think definitely skydiving. There were a lot. On this island, there have been so many highlights. It honestly feels like we go on a different adventure every day, especially with the friends that we've made. It's been awesome. Like, we were going to do the skydive together, and then we convinced our friends, two of our friends, to go in the slot next to us.
Oh, really?
So we all shared that experience. We shared those, those emotions, and they're actually going to come meet us here later on. But it was so, I don't know, just so nice. Like, I mean, I've come here with Chanel, and she's my best friend. But making other friends as well, like on your journey, is amazing.
Fantastic.
Definitely. But my highlight for sure, skydiving. Just the way that it happened. Like you introduced me to an instructor. He was like, through one conversation with him, I was like already very inclined to do it. But through the one conversation, it was like, I'm doing it. So I booked it for 2 days. 2 days later, and we did it. And we did it together. Like, I mean, it was something that I feel like if you're in a relationship, getting to experience these things together.
But you were the driving force, were you?
Oh yeah. I think that I was. Like, we were both very keen, but I'd like to say that I just gave us the final push and we did it. And I don't know, it was just when we both touched down, like just giving each other a huge hug. Like we made it.
But were you shitting yourself when you jumped out of the plane?
Not I can confidently say not at all. This is
really?
My first jump, but skydiving is something that I've wanted to do for so long, and it's just been kind of waiting for the right opportunity. And I think now I'm financially in like a good place to be able to afford those things, and it just came together so well. And the whole time, because I knew Matt previously, it was like I was so comfortable with him and I just couldn't stop smiling. And I actually have a bit of a thing with heights, but being up that high was completely fine. I think once we got the parachute, we started going a little bit lower. I got a little bit nervous, but it's so beautiful. Like, this island is just amazing to look at, especially from the sky, So I couldn't stop smiling. Like, I'll show you the video later. It's a good watch. Yeah.
Fantastic. Looking forward to it. Well, it's great you had such a good time. When are you going to go back now then?
To Sikihor?
No, when are you going to go back to Oz?
I think so. We're going back tomorrow. Well, tomorrow we fly to Cebu, and then we stay one night in Cebu, and then go to Manila, and then home. Because we didn't want to risk missing another flight or another boat. You know what I mean? It actually ends up getting quite expensive when you miss those things.
You got travel insurance, haven't you?
I do, yeah. I'm not sure how that works. So
we'll have a few beers tonight.
All right.
We'll have a little accident outside. You can stay a couple more weeks.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Look forward to it. Honestly, yeah. I can't wait to come back here. We had a chat and we were like, definitely, I think because this isn't too far from Australia, we can, save up for the bigger trips like Europe and South America, but come back here far more often. I think a return flight here was 600 Australian.
Right.
Like we did look at budget airlines.
I think that's about £300. I'm not really good with
I would say it's around 300, maybe 350 max. But yeah, it's just been so amazing, and it would be so nice as like a constant holiday spot just to be able to come here and just relax. You know what I mean? Catch up with friends. You're staying here now, so we'd always be able to come here and say hi to you.
You'll always be welcome, and I'll always try and sneak another interview.
Most definitely, I'd love to do a catch up.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to that. So South America's your next adventure, is it? Is that what you're looking at next?
I think it's going to be Japan.
Japan.
So I think we planned Japan for either the end of this year or the start of next year to make ski season. It's been something we both always wanted to do, because I think the culture is so vastly different there. You know, you have the super traditional side and the electronic, like futuristic side to it as well. I think it would just be amazing to go and explore. Like, I'm really, really excited for it.
Yeah, well, I've never been to Japan. It's amazing.
Oh, you haven't been?
No, I've not been to Japan. I've been to 75 countries, but all the ones, none of the ones you talked about, I've been to. I'm sitting there thinking, why have I not been to Goa? Why have I not been to Japan?
75 countries. That's amazing, man.
Well, no, I've worked it out one day with someone else on the channel, but none of the places you've been to. I've not been to South America either.
Oh, really? So Japan and South America have been huge travel goals for me, because first, like I said about Japan, and then South America, because first of all, the third best restaurant in the world is in Peru, and I watched the documentary, and it just made me so keen. Like, Peru has 4 different environments, and they're all on different sides. So they got the desert, they got the jungle, so the rainforest, the Andes, the mountains, and then the coast, the sea. So hiking around there would just be absolutely amazing. And then I think through my work, I've made friends in Argentina, Brazil, Colombia. I think it would just be great to go and see them.
You're a friendly guy, Yorick. I'm not surprised. You're a friendly guy. You're always smiling.
That's the smile will get you in anyway. You know what I mean?
I've got to ask you one last question before we finish off.
Yes.
If your parents are from Goa, where did Yorick come from? Are they Shakespeare fans? I mean, because that's an unusual name in any country.
Well, oh my gosh, I actually really didn't like the name when I was younger, because it has no relation to anything. They literally looked through a book of names and picked out Yorick, and so it's in a Shakespearean play, and I'm the dead jester. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because I was telling you earlier on, I'm terrible at editing, but I'm going to have to edit it so I've got your head in the thumbnail, and I can say, alas, poor Yorick, I knew him well.
That would be hilarious.
That's what I'm going to have to do. I've just got to work out how to do it.
Well, I really like the name now because it's so different. The name actually originally is Dutch, I believe.
Okay.
I haven't really looked too much into it, but it's funny. I always tell people Rick. I don't know if when I first introduced myself to you, I would have said Rick, because when you tell people Yorick, they never ever get it right the first time. They say Yogi, they say Jorgen. I'm just like, I just leave it at that. But so now I've just learned, just say Rick.
You've got a good name, mate, because I am awful with names, awful with faces, especially when I've been drinking. But the second you said your name was Yorick, I thought, I'm not going to forget that. And I haven't. If you'd been a Bill, a Tom, a Jim, or whatever I did, I'd be calling you, but no, Yorick.
Yeah.
Keep it,
yeah,
mate.
You definitely don't hear that every day, do you?
Fantastic name. Anyway, Yorick, really appreciate you sitting down with us. It's been a great interview. I'm delighted to hear you've had a great time in Sikihor, and I hope you have an even better night tonight. And looking forward to welcoming you both back next year, by the sounds of it.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate it.
So, you know what to do now. If you enjoyed the video, I don't know why you wouldn't do, smash the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, my God, I'd be grateful. But whatever you're doing, wherever you are, stay safe, be lucky,